Well, a major winter storm continues to affect the eastern U.S. and mid-Atlantic states after dumping a lot of snow across the central parts of the country, and another storm is brewing. So we have winter storm warnings stretching from the Ohio River Valley to the mid-Atlantic, including Washington, D.C. today, getting a pretty big snowfall. And this was all part of a system that dumped lots of snow across Kansas through Missouri into Illinois and Indiana, anywhere from 6 to as much as 18 inches of snow, 1.5 feet in Salina, Kansas, but nearly a foot around Kansas City, anywhere from 6 to 12 inches around the St. Louis areas. And then amounts tapering off a little bit, but still significant snowfall here, over a half foot for probably Washington, D.C. today. So those winter storm warnings continue through D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia, swath of very heavy snow, rain and ice here on some of the warmer side of this system with some strong storms. These storms, or this front, produced severe weather and tornadoes yesterday across parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. So kind of a classic spring or winter storm system. Obviously winter at this point, but that snow line, D.C. just north of it, so seeing some heavy snow that'll all wrap up tonight as this system heads out into the Atlantic. But it is going to leave quite a bit of snowfall in its wake here with several inches at least to up to a foot of snow for parts of Northern Virginia into Maryland, and again, including D.C. and then parts of West Virginia too. So significant snowfall, something they haven't had in a couple of years at least for some of these areas. And another storm is brewing already. We've got an area of moisture. Right now it's just a fairly minor wave moving through the west, but this thing is going to deepen and dig in across the southwest and into the south central U.S. and become a major storm for places like Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, a major winter storm developing. So watch this thing as it really deepens and becomes a deep, long wave, and even almost a cutoff upper level low here in the south. So we have this really crazy amplified pattern that's creating these unusually far south winter storm systems. So snow will develop for central and northern Texas here Thursday, ice and rain on the southern end of it, and ice is really going to be a potential big concern here. Places like Arkansas will see snow, but southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, into east central Texas could see a significant ice event, and the snow could really add up here. Parts of north central Texas could see up to a foot of snow. So places in the northern U.S. like Minnesota not getting much snow, but to the south we're getting a lot of it here, and potentially again a lot of ice here. Some models producing more than an inch of ice potentially. So that's something we're gonna have to watch here for central Texas into northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, as that system continues. And then it will bring more rain and snow to the mid-Atlantic and southeast, much less significant than the system they're seeing now, but some pretty heavy rain for potentially the Carolinas and into Georgia. So what is going on here? We've got this, as I mentioned, a highly amplified pattern where warm air is surging way farther north than it should, and cold air is surging way farther south than it should. And in between, the clue is looking at mid-latitudes, places like Minneapolis and Chicago, seeing slightly below normal temperatures, but nothing unusual. But these temperature anomalies and upper level anomalies are really almost off the charts for places like Texas, because this is air that shouldn't be that far south at this time of the year. And this is one of the things we're seeing with climate change, is these highly amplified patterns, because you're decreasing that temperature contrast between mid-latitudes and the Arctic, so you get these really wobbly patterns of the jet stream. So temperatures, for example, late Thursday, pretty much the same, upper 20s to low 30s, Minnesota to Texas, but those temperature anomalies are vastly different because that air doesn't belong in Texas. So 20 to 30 degrees below normal there, but actually nearly above normal temperatures for places like Minnesota. So same air mass, but it's farther south than it should be, and that's continuing to create these winter storms in places that aren't quite used to it.